Welcome to Recovery Monday on the Truth Network, 99.3 FM. We appreciate you being here. I'm J. Michael McCoy, and if I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Love this job. Couldn't do it without you. I know there's a lot of choices you have in listening to this program at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're watching or listening on a podcast, you have a bazillion choices. And we're just pleased that you made this one. This is Powell CDC Show, 263-2424. I tell you all the time, I'll tell you again, if you've got that niece, that nephew, that brother, that sister, that mother, that father, that person in a small group or in the cubicle next to you that you know is having drug, alcohol, eating disorders, anything like that, and you want to help, but you don't know what to do. And you don't want to do the wrong thing because you don't want to hurt the relationship, but you don't know what to do. Well, now you know what to do. You reach out to Lila or myself or Bob or Ryan. You can call us here at webcast1live.com, 244-0077, or you can give them a call at Powell at 263-2424 and ask for Lila. She's there. You could ask for Kim, who was here last week. Ask for D. If you really want the fireball of the house, ask for D. And it doesn't matter. Little men in white coats will not come running to your house. You will not be recorded and played back later for training purposes. You will be gently and lovingly cradled in the arms of someone who's probably been where you're at or knows someone who's been where you're at because they were an addict or an alcoholic or someone who couldn't control the feelings they had about their body. Is too fat, too thin. I can't eat enough. I eat too much. I'm being abused physically, psychologically, emotionally, verbally. They know what you're going through, and they're there to help. Kind of, it's really kind of the way I grew up back in the day when the people at the other end of the phone were there to help you, not sell you something. Again, that's Powell CDC, 263-2424. All right. I don't make promises very often, but I think this is going to be one of the best shows you've ever heard. I just have a feeling. And I also will tell you that I think this is part one. I don't know how many parts we're going to have, but I don't think we're going to get through everything today because we really have a wealth of passion and love and some great stories to tell. First, I want to introduce you to Jennifer Thompson. Jennifer, as of tomorrow, will have 23 months clean and sober. And I think what we'll do is we'll have you back on your 2-year.
Okay.
Which would be in a month. Sitting to Jennifer's left is her beautiful mother, Julie Thompson. Her father, John, could not be here today, but we may be able to have them back at some time. Julie, welcome.
Thank you. And
the next young lady you're about to see is Lexi. And Lexi is Jennifer's biological daughter. And I'll tell you later why I say biological. But for now, just know that Lexi is Jennifer's daughter. So we have 3 generations here. Is there a fourth somewhere? Is your mother or your husband's mother or father living still?
Not my mother. My dad's still living.
All right, so if we had your dad here, we'd then have 4 generations. Anything
Right.
you want to tell us about a fifth or not yet?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
And is this your oldest child?
Yes.
Okay, and you have 2 others?
Yes.
How old are they?
I have a 13-year-old son named Colby, and I have an 8-year-old daughter, Ashlyn.
Ashlyn, all right. I love the name Lexi. I think that's a great name.
Thank you.
All right, so what brings us here is because 23 months ago and how long previously you were messed up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When did the messing up start?
Probably the age of 13.
Is that when you took your first drink? Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was that first drink?
Bud Light.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
She says it with such passion.
That was my drink.
That
Bud
was
Light.
your drink, Bud Light.
Yep.
And where'd you get the Bud Light?
From one of my best friend's brother.
All right. And was it peer pressure? Was it something you saw mom and dad do? Was it the commercials on the TV? What made you want to drink a Bud Light? I mean, first of all, you knew it was wrong, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is that why you did it? Because it was wrong? Okay.
I think a lot of it was because I was that person, don't tell me what I can't do because I will do it.
Right.
And I think it was a lot of the peer pressure. I wanted to be cool.
Okay. And drinking Bud Light was cool. All right.
I
Now,
could have guessed it was going to be 13.
how?
Because most addicts, when they come in and you ask when it was 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And it seems so young when you're an adult. 13 and 14 seems very young, but that's when most addicts start.
All right. And what about your home life either gave you permission or wanted you to rebel by drinking?
My home life was my parents never drank. I was born and raised in a Christian home. And I think it was just, I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. I felt like the black sheep, middle child,
Okay.
felt like I just didn't have a place. And I don't know. I just wanted friends, and I wanted to feel like I belonged somewhere.
Was that because of the Christian part of it? You weren't on that same wavelength that you weren't feeling part of?
I don't know. I don't know if it was, because the people I was hanging out, I hang out with a lot of church people, but the people I really hung out with were the bad influences.
Yeah.
Where their parents didn't care what they did.
Yeah.
We could sit there and we could be gone for hours and they wouldn't be checked. My mom, on the other hand, constantly needed to know where we were at, what we were doing.
Yeah.
And she was protective of us. Unlike my friends, my friends, parents weren't. They didn't care.
Now, you see now, especially as a parent, where mom was right.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Okay.
It's like, wow. Yeah.
See, Julie, look how smart we get as we get older.
Isn't it great?
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. So let me ask you, Julie, if we go back to that time when Jennifer was 13 years old and running around drinking beer, did you know it?
No, had
No.
no clue. I trusted the other parents that they were like me. I thought they were like me. I thought they were watching their kids.
Yeah.
I thought they were paying attention to what was going on. Had no clue. However, there was a gut feeling that was something was going on.
Yeah.
And as a mom, I think we don't really want to face things. I think we want to shove it
Denial
under
is
the
not
rug.
only a river in
That's
Egypt.
correct. Yeah, exactly. And I look back on it now and I thought there were signs. And in fact, we chose to move away from where we were at one point because I was worried about Jen.
Move to a different part of the community?
We actually moved out of town and moved to the country.
Really? Okay. And how did you like that?
I hated it.
Because you were far from your friends.
Yeah.
How old was she when you did that?
Let's see, you were about
Could you drive?
No.
No.
Well, no, 13.
it was the same time
14.
period.
It was about that time period.
That's right.
I was going to Callahan Middle School, and then I started getting into the weed, and then it's like I was in this spiral. My mom didn't know what to do, and so they thought that getting me out of this town, out of Des Moines, would help. So we moved to Winterset, and it was even a bigger downward spiral for me from that point.
I was going to say, don't tell me there wasn't any weed in Winterset.
Oh, it was horrible. The drinking got worse. The alcohol got worse. Everything. The drugs. It was more drinking, though.
Mom, what did it feel like when you realized? Here you and your husband make a pretty big move to protect your child. You sell your house, you move to a different part of town, you're driving farther to work, you're doing all that, and it didn't make any difference.
It was
got
devastating.
worse.
It really was. I felt like we went from the frying pan to the fire. I was worried about her, and I think there must have been something. I heard rumors or something that something was going on, and we had some bad stuff happening in our neighborhood. So we thought, let's pull the kids out. Let's go someplace safe, like this little town called
small
Winterset.
town where John Wayne was born.
Exactly.
Right.
The heartland of America. And we
Right.
thought, okay, let's go in and let's, take them out to the country, where they can learn how to, do some things and,
Do math.
country in the
Lila,
country.
do you remember the mom and daughter we had in here during the beginning, and they moved from Louisiana, New Orleans, to here because they thought this would be a safe environment for their child.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Iowa is not a place, especially small towns. There's a lot of stuff happening, maybe more because there's less to do in those
I was going to
towns.
say there's less to do.
And kids are being really creative. And I wasn't joking when I was talking about the math, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff happening.
Well, and a lot of people underestimate the fact that we're the intersection, the crossroads of America.
Oh yeah,
The one interstate that goes east-west and the one that goes all the way north-south comes through Des Moines.
yeah,
And that is an easy way to get just about anything you want dropped off at the local Quick Trip.
Yeah.
Our guests are Jennifer Thompson. She is the daughter/mom. Julie is the mom/grandma. Daughter. Oh, cripe. And then Lexi is the daughter/sister/granddaughter.
Yes.
How'd I do?
You did all right.
Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Aren't you also the biological father? Didn't I hear
yes,
that?
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. That was off camera. It was before the show started. I was trying to figure out everybody here, and I looked at Lexi and said, so you're the biological father. And we laughed about that for a good 7 minutes. All right. So 13, 14, 15, we go from drinking a little Bud Light to smoking a little American Joe. Mm-hmm. And when was an incident that was aware to everybody that something bad was happening? Did you get arrested? Did you stay out all night? Maybe I should be asking you this. Mm-hmm. When did you go, oh, crap, this is bad?
The girls started just running the town and running out of control. And I don't remember if, and, you know, we're this Christian, you know, we're trying to raise these kids as Christians. We're trying to, you know, set the example. And my way of doing things was, you know, to put my thumb down on them. You know, I was raised by a Marine, so, you know, that was what you did. You just put the hammer down and you tried to control them. And so they were sneaking out at night. And I thought the main problem was boys, to tell you the truth. I thought I had a real bad issue with the kids running around with boys at night. Mm-hmm. And they'd be sneaking out. They'd be bringing boys into the house, and they wondered how I'd find out. And one of the boys had let the toilet seat up at a house full of girls. So it's like, hello. You know, I knew what was going on, but I didn't want to face the entire thing, but we did try. So we contacted a local agency that had counseling services. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was the time that we did it, right after we moved. It was maybe like, and maybe it was a couple years afterwards. We moved into town. The country didn't work out, so we moved into town. And I contacted one of the local troubled youth agencies and asked for help. So that's when we realized something was going wrong.
Jennifer, what were you doing that she doesn't know about?
No, I was drinking heavily, very heavily. I was the blackout drunk. I was running the streets, you know, doing drugs. I wasn't like, I think the most drug at that time was the weed. I mean, but we only did it a little bit though, because we were a small town. So we didn't have it a lot available to us. The biggest thing that we did was drink.
Okay.
And running around.
Did you steal?
Yeah. Pomida.
Pomida. Okay, good.
A little store.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we go in there steal cigarettes.
Okay.
Because it used to be at Pomida, they had this little stand that they had the cigarettes out. Yeah. And we would steal them. And
so you were smoking cigarettes too?
Yes, smoking cigarettes.
Now, you had to smell that.
No, we didn't. Isn't that funny? We didn't. They were pretty good at hiding it. They were pretty cagey.
What did you do to hide the cigarette smell?
Well, a lot of times we would have clothes with us and change clothes. You know, we would have different outfits. And then also a lot of spray and perfume. Yeah. And avoider, like when we get home, avoider. So, you know, go right to my room and spray down or, you know, just.
Don't mention any names, but did you have any mothers as your, what's the word I want? Not codependent. Enablers. Now, your mother was not enabling you.
Yes. We actually had an aunt.
Oh, as far as the drugs, no. I'm an enabler for other things, yeah.
Well, you didn't buy her beer.
No,
you didn't say it was okay to smoke.
Oh, no. Okay, I was trying to prevent all that stuff.
There had to be mothers that said it was okay.
My friends.
Come to my house. If you do it here, don't do it anywhere else.
Yes.
And you know, as a high school kid, you think that's so cool.
Uh-huh.
When a parent will buy the liquor or buy the cigarettes or whatever, you just think, God, this is cool. And, you know, why can't my home be like this?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take our first break here. And when we come back, we're going to continue down this road. And by the way, how were your grades?
Horrible.
Horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Passing?
Barely.
Okay, barely. Only by the grace of God and a good teacher that didn't want you back in class, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
All right. Jennifer Thompson, Julie Thompson, and Lexi Thompson. It's the three musketeers here, and this is some great stories. I can't wait to talk to Lexi about her perception watching her mother go through all these things. It does have a happy ending, as you can tell by here, but it gets worse before it gets better. I'm J. Michael McCoy. This is Restoring Hope Live. on 99.3 Truth Network.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Get away from us, you mean old credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
See 'em here, see 'em there. You got bad credit, we don't care.
Visit emetroford.com for your guaranteed credit approval. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Everybody drives with guaranteed credit approval at emetroford.com. Visit emetroford.com today.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, we're back. RestoringHopeLive.com and on the American Family Radio Network. We appreciate you being here. This show is probably part one of at least two, maybe three. So we won't get to the end of the story or the rest of the story today because there's just too much good to come out of this. Now, Lexi, I want to ask you a question. And I don't ask this, you guys all verify. I didn't ask you or tell you what questions I was going to ask during the break.
No.
I don't do that.
Right.
When you sit here and listen to your mom and what she was doing at 13, 14, and 15, okay, you're 17 now, right? Mm-hmm. Were you doing that stuff?
No.
No. Are there kids around doing that kind of stuff?
Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It's getting to the point where fourth graders will do things like that now.
Hold on. Who?
Fourth graders. It's going to elementary schools. It's bad. It's really bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? I think, honestly, it's the TV, the social media. It's everywhere, It's bad.
Access is just right there?
It's right there.
Okay. Tough question, but honest answer, please. Why not you?
Because I know that it's bad, and I knew that I didn't necessarily know what my mom was doing, but I knew that whatever she was in wasn't necessarily good. But I'm not going to tell you that I haven't done,
No,
drugs
I understand.
before.
But you're not heading down that road.
Oh, no.
Okay. I'm going to cry if I'm not careful on this. Do you understand how good of a job you did as a mother?
No.
Well, she just told you. If you can't be a good example, at least be one that people can see. Be an example that people can see. Maybe you weren't a good example in your actions, but look what she's doing with it. And Mom, look what she's done with it. Yeah. You ladies right here Lexi says, it's not that I can't do that stuff. It's not that I haven't done it, but I'm not going to choose to do that because I see the destruction that it did to my mother and our family.
Right.
That's the greatest gift ever of all. If we signed off the air right now, that'd be the greatest gift ever of all.
Right.
We're going to sign off, and we're going to talk Superman comics next.
Here's another thing, though. If she chooses down the line to go down the wrong road, she is an example of somebody that's turned that around. Mm-hmm. You know, and that I think is really important to know. You know, because everyone gets in trouble at some point, but what we do with that is what's important, and she has that example in front of her.
And did you feel you could go to your mom at 14 or 15 and say, Mom, I'm in trouble?
She probably didn't feel like she was in trouble.
No, I didn't think I was in trouble.
Oh, come on. You're getting Fs and barely passing in school.
No. It was more of just the blinders, putting the blinders on. I was at that age where it's my problem. I'm going to deal with this. I don't want Mom to know because I don't want to hear any more about it.
Right. That's the point I was getting.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Because if you went to her, she wouldn't say, oh, baby doll, come into my arms and tell Mommy. She'd say, bend over. I'm going to kick your behind.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. By the way, Jill King from King's Christian Bookstore said, it's a wonder that parents of 13 and 14-year-olds aren't all alcoholics. I could have given my kids away when they were 14, and then they turned 15 and, got better. Mostly better. I think that's the way most parents feel.
Yeah.
All right, my guest is Jennifer Thompson. She is 23 months clean and sober tomorrow, and we're going to have her back in a month to celebrate the 2 years. Her mother, Julie Thompson, is here. Her father, John, is home. And Lexi, her daughter, is here, and she's 17, right? Now, here's the other thing that I think's amazing. You and your husband, John, still together after how many years?
Let's see, 37?
37 years. Christian family. Went to church. Right. Did everything you knew you could do.
We did.
And stuff you didn't even think you'd have to do.
Exactly.
And she still did what she did.
That's right.
But look how she turned out.
It's amazing.
But give yourself a little credit.
You know, I give it all to God.
I understand you give it to God, but see, God wants you to understand that you followed him.
Yeah.
You did something, and you listened to him, and you allowed him to use you, and now you're teaching other parents.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So you got to, we're not puppets.
That's right.
I'm a
we have
person
choices.
I'm a person who gives all credit to God. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I also recognize that we're not puppets. We have to decide, do we choose to follow him? It would have been a lot easier for you probably to throw in the towel, buy her a 12-pack of beer, and say, I'll see you in the morning.
Or just forget about it.
Yeah, right.
You know, a lot of parents out there, they put the blinders on and they don't want to deal with it. And I did a little bit of that. I really did. You know, I didn't want to face the depth and what was going on. But there's a lot of people who, like we were talking about, some parents say, oh, yeah, well, just drink at our house, because, that's going to be better. Yeah. And let me tell you, we could go to stories about how that's not better.
Yeah.
But, so we do. But, you just have to hang in there and
do the best you can.
I think there are more parents
do the best
you
you
think
can.
that do that say, if you drink at my house, you'll be safe, and they won't let them out or something. And I think I would have been one of those parents if I wasn't in the program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. All right, Jennifer, back to you. So, did you graduate from high school?
No.
Really?
No.
Dropped out?
Yes, I got pregnant with Lexi.
You got pregnant? How old were you?
I was 17. 17.
Well, when you got pregnant, you were 16 and you had her at 17?
I got pregnant with her at 17. I had her when she was born. When she was 3 months old, I turned 18.
Okay. And tell me about the relationship that you had with her biological father.
Do you have time? That's a long story.
Did you marry him?
No.
Okay. Was it a one-night stand?
No. We were in a serious relationship, very serious relationship. Met him in Winterset, just kind of fell in love, and then I got pregnant with Lexi, and I was scared to death, and I didn't want to have her. I was, at that point where I was like, no, I'm too young. And he, gave me those promises that I will be here for you. We will be a family. We're going to get married. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. It'll be okay, Jen. It'll be okay.
How old was he?
18.
Year older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that time, he was running away from home. So then when I got pregnant with her, that's what we did is we started running because my mom was trying to protect me from him because she knew he wasn't good.
Okay.
And so again, rebellion, I ran. Like, you're not going to tell me who I can be with and who I can't be with. This is the love of my life. He's the father of my child, and we're going to get married, and we're going to be happy, and we're going to have this little white picket fence and everything. Everything's going to be great. And so we were on the run for, I don't know, quite a while, most of my pregnancy. We were running from living in a car half the time in Brooklyn, Iowa, going to his relative's house, living in their basements on the couches, and just kind of living wherever we could. And my mom was scared to death. And
no cell phones,
No
right?
cell phones.
No,
No way of communicating. She didn't know if I was okay. She knew I was pregnant.
Were
Didn't
you
know-
having fun?
No.
Were you drinking at that
No,
time?
I wasn't drinking because I was pregnant.
Yeah.
He was. He was, but I was pregnant. And that's one thing I never did in any of my pregnancies. I never drank or I never did drugs or smoked when I was pregnant because that was just, for some reason, I just never did it.
Yeah.
You know? And
It's the maternal instinct that takes
I think
over.
it was.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I see some women that still drink or smoke cigarettes, and I'm like, I just never did that.
But you I'm assuming you didn't have any prenatal care?
I did go to the doctor here and there when, the doctor was concerned, because I was taking my prenatal vitamins, but half the time we weren't eating because we didn't have money for food. And like I said, there was a lot of times we were sleeping in the car. And my mom knew who I was with, and finally I think that his uncle, we were staying with his uncle, and he came to us and said, we have too many kids in this house. I can't feed you guys. You guys need to leave. And I think that's when Vince called you, wasn't it?
I think so.
And he called my mom, and, my mom ended up calling, what happened was him and his grandma, his grandma got into a huge argument because he went to her house and stole stuff from her so we could have money, so he could sell it.
Okay.
So we could have money. And she called him into the police, and they came and found us, and then they found out I was a runaway.
Okay. Had you filed that she was runaway?
We hadn't reported her as a runaway.
Okay, so just
which was
because-
interesting now looking back, but we didn't at that point.
Hearing this, Lexi, what does it make you feel? I mean, you've heard this before.
It's hard every time.
Okay.
I don't know, because I think about it this way. Where she was at my age, I couldn't do it. I can't believe, honestly, that I'm here because I wouldn't be able to go through with it. And to hear, things about that, about my dad, it's hard because, I still have to, forgive him and everything.
Do you have a relationship with him?
No, I don't even know where he is.
When was the last time you saw him?
When I was 6, we had a day together, but he ignored me because it was my aunt's birthday, and he all focused on her, and I was literally in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know that that's not about you?
Yes. It took me a while to realize that.
Okay, but you know now.
Yeah.
That's not a judgment of you.
No.
That's not about who you are inside. You are loved. You are the daughter of a risen king. Jesus loves you intensely, and he sees you as nothing but perfect. And that person did what they did in front of you because they didn't know any better. And that's why you forgive him. He didn't know better either. He didn't have an identity with Christ. His identity was as lost, as broken as we all are without him. So it's not about you, okay? Okay. All right, Jennifer. So Lexi is born, and you are where?
At this point, back at Mom and Dad's.
Okay, you went back to Mom and Dad's, and Lexi's born.
Actually, you were in the shelter. Oh, that was, went to shelter first.
I went to shelter first, and then
back to Mom and
then back
Dad's.
to Mom and Dad's.
And when you went back to Mom and Dad's, did you want to go back?
Mm-mm.
Why did you go back then?
Because I really had nowhere else to go.
Okay.
I had a baby now.
You had a baby. All
I
right.
had a baby. I had no job.
Okay.
Were you in a shelter with the baby, or
No,
you were there
I was
when you were pregnant
with her, and then when I got out of the shelter, that's when I had her.
Were you with your boyfriend in the shelter?
No, he was in jail because he got arrested for breaking into his grandma's house.
Okay.
He went to jail, and that's when they brought me back to Des Moines. And my mom said, just take her to, you guys
We took her straight to Yes.
They took me straight to Yes Shelter.
Okay.
And I stayed there. And then.
And why didn't you want her to come home?
I knew that it was going to be a constant battle, and I knew I had to do something drastic. Mm-hmm. I needed her to understand, and she was out of control. And I recognized that, and by that time, I really knew we needed help. It was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Did you ever look up and say, God, why me?
Oh, yeah. I did. I really did.
What did he tell you back?
You know, at that point, I wasn't listening very well.
All right.
I was just focused on the process, the struggle.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really depending on him as well, as much that time. I was, just trying to get through, trying to do the best I thought for Jen.
Frank says, how does your guest come down on the dilemma all parents face? Do you kick them out? You let them get high at home? Because you know at least where they are. I knew a neighborhood kid that locked their drunk son out one night. He later, in 1996, was killed by a drunk driver, but the kid used to drive drunk all the time, just looking for some place to sleep. Sounds familiar, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to take our next break. For those of you who are thinking, how are they going to get to the end of this story by 4 o'clock, by 6:30, by 7, whenever this show airs? We're not. We're going to have them back in a month, celebrating Jennifer's 2-year sobriety birthday. But when we come back next, Lexi's born, beautiful young baby, beautiful girl, and you must get some second wind because you're not done, right?
Nope.
You're still a party girl.
Yep.
Still got a couple kids to birth.
Yep. Sure do.
2 different men.
Yep.
Okay. Getting good.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the world turns right here on Peyton Place. This is the Truth Network. 99.3 powered by webcast1live.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do. What type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
All right, we're back. RestoringHopeLive.com. Thank you for all those folks listening on the American Family Radio Network. We appreciate you. You can go to RestoringHopeLive.com and check us out, contact us, share your stories. If you want your comments passed on to the Thompson family, I will do so. If you have a question for me or Lila, about sobriety or anything like that, just let us know. I call her Coco because that's the name that she wants her granddaughter to call her, because you've got a 3-month-old
Yeah.
at home. Beautiful baby, too. All right, looks all just like her mother.
Yeah.
Don't you think she does?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jennifer, let's fast forward. So you've got Lexi. You haven't calmed down. It hasn't slowed you down. The winds are still in your sail. As soon as you give birth, you back to drugging and using and drinking?
I think I didn't get back to the drug or the alcohol until after her dad left.
So how long were you and her dad together?
A total of, I was pregnant for 9 months and we were together. I mean, probably a couple years.
Okay.
But how long was he in jail?
He wasn't in jail very long because
Okay.
I was in the shelter at that time too. So, and then my mom didn't want me to have anything to do with him.
Now, did you ever marry him?
No.
Okay. And what finally happened that he no longer was a part of your life?
He cheated on me.
Okay.
He had another relationship.
Was that his choice or yours?
His.
No, back up. I'm sorry. I know it was his choice that he cheated on you.
Yes.
Man, I asked the wrong question at the wrong time there. Yes, it was my fault my husband cheated on me. Now you and I are going to counseling if you think that.
Right? Wait a second. I thought it was
I'm a guy and I know that can't be so. No, whose decision was it you wouldn't be a couple anymore?
His.
His also.
Mm-hmm.
You were willing to accept his infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did he go to that woman then?
Yes, he actually married that woman and had twins.
And had twins. Are they still together?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Last time I knew, I didn't think they were, but.
Okay. How is that hearing that about you and mom and dad? I mean, it's not the first time you've heard it, right?
Oh no.
Okay.
It's like I've said before, like it's still difficult for me, because I've always wanted like my real parents, my real family. That was something that I really struggled with as a kid.
Yep.
But,
Every kid does, by the way.
Yeah. But I've realized now that I'm in a much better place than I am now than I could have been if I was with my real family.
Okay. But you never left the arms of your real family because you ended up being raised by your grandmother.
Yes.
Do you call her grandma or mom?
Mom.
Okay. At what point Jennifer, were you not raising Lexi?
I think it was when I was doing okay, and then she was 3 months old when her dad left, and I think at that point I was so devastated and lost, and I just gave up because at that point I was angry because I thought, wait a second, I'm the one that didn't want this child, and now you can just leave me here to raise this child, and what I thought it wasn't fair to me, and I just gave up. I just didn't want, but I tried. And my mom would always try, Jennifer, got to take care of her. And it was the point where I would get bad enough or I'd throw fits. So I could go out and leave my daughter. There was times that my mom would be like, no, I'm not watching her. And I would start packing her up like I was going to take her to the bar with me. Take her with me. I was going to take her. And so then my mom would say, no, leave her here.
And you knew she'd say that.
Yes, I did. Oh, yeah, I knew.
Would you have taken her to the bar?
No.
Okay.
But I don't know. I would have taken her to the liquor store to get liquor and came back home.
This is something I didn't know.
I unfortunately can remember a place that I owned many years ago that a woman came in the middle of the afternoon with her newborn.
No.
In a car seat that I wouldn't let my puppy ride in, and sat there and got obliterated? Is that a term? Drunk.
There you go.
And we had to call the police. And I later found out she lost her child. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what other choice you have.
You got to protect the kids.
So liquor store was probably a good place for you. You know, they've always got
I'd
beef
rather
jerky.
not go there, but I mean, that's okay.
Okay, all right.
But you think about a 17-year-old kid who still wants to be a kid, and they, you know, that's part of being a 17-year-old. You know, is that and you can probably identify with that, just having fun with friends.
Oh, I think Lexi's far more mature than her mother was at this age.
Yeah, she is.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe still more mature, but I mean.
And you're how old now?
35.
Okay. So, yeah, that's a good. You get knuckles for that. All right. So, when did you leave your daughter with your mother for good?
For good?
Well, I mean.
Well, I was in and out. I was that part-time parent, you know.
But you moved out when she was, how old was she? 6 or 7 months old?
When did I move? Where did I move to then?
That's when you moved into the apartments over there on
with
Tawana.
Joe.
Yeah, with
with
Joe.
my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved out. And then Mom said, just let her stay here for a little bit, let you guys get settled and stuff like that. So I basically, I think that's when, you know, my mom kind of had to take over because
there was no way I was letting her out of the house with the baby until I could see that she could do it.
So you were drinking, you were drugging, you were running around with men. Your next child comes how many years later?
Let's see here. How far apart are you guys? You guys are all like 6 years apart. So
what was your next child's father? Your next serious relationship?
Yes, he was my marriage.
Okay, so
I got married.
You married this guy. Were you pregnant when you married him?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why we got married was because I was pregnant.
All right. So was this guy a good guy because he married you?
He was a good. Yeah, I mean, we met online.
Oh.
And he lived in Ohio, and I lived in Iowa.
Okay.
And we met. Probably the second time we met is when I got pregnant. Met in person. I mean, we talked all the time.
I understood the in-person part, but thanks for filling that in, Jane. Google presents pregnant online.
All right. It's a new thing.
All right. And so you moved to here or moved to Ohio?
I moved to Ohio.
All right. And left Lexi here with your mom.
Yep.
And you had your second.
Well, I left her here. I left her here in Iowa. Then she came and moved with me.
Much later.
Much later.
Much later.
Well, how old much later?
She was 4.
She was 6 when
6,
she moved in
or
with
6.
you. Yeah, 6.
6.
And how'd you feel about that, Mom?
It was scary. By then, though, they had established a home. They had a baby. I saw some issues with the marriage, but all marriages have issues, you know. And so I thought, okay, he was fairly stable at the time, and Lexi wanted to go. That was the biggest thing. I always wanted to do what, you know, Lexi wanted to do. I was always very protective of her. You know, of course, she was my first granddaughter. And, you know, so the sun rose and set in her, as it still does.
Did you have other children at home?
By that time, in and out, but adult children. So no younger children.
She was the youngest.
I'm the middle.
She's the middle, but my youngest moved out with her when they left.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I didn't have children at home. However, my oldest came back during some of that time. So they were kind of boomerang kids and came in and out.
Yeah,
so.
they all do.
They do, don't they?
And when you moved in with your mom and what's his name?
Jason.
Jason. When you moved in with your mom and Jason, were you happy?
I was very happy
Okay.
because I felt like I had that real family feel.
Okay. What'd you call Jason?
Jason.
Jason, okay. Did you have hopes that now this is maybe tough for you to answer, but in the back of your head, did that little girl still want your dad and Jennifer together?
Yes. I tried. I don't know. I would try to see. I would sneak Jen's phone to see if she still had Adam's number, and because I would still think about him like every day.
Okay.
But I would use Jason as, you know, that Phil, that father Phil.
Okay.
So I pretend that he would be my dad in the beginning, but it progressively got worse with Jason. I never liked him at all.
Okay. You don't think he was good for your mom?
No.
Okay.
Now, which one didn't you like, your biological father or
No.
your step?
Second
All
one.
of them.
Okay.
Every single one of them.
If your mom picked a boyfriend out for you, you'd run, right, Lexi?
Oh, gee. I don't know.
Mom's choice in men. Let me see here. Okay.
Jeez. No, that'd be horrible.
And if you're listening at home, you got to be wondering why we're all laughing. Well, because we know how it ends up. And you're not going to find out how it's up today, but we've kind of given you a brief little look behind the curtain with just the simple laughter and the fact that they're all here and they love each other. That's how this Thompson family rolls. Yes. When we come back, what happens in Ohio, and we move to number 3. That's next with Jennifer on RestoringHopeLive.com.
A father who is headed toward another heart attack. A woman who struggles daily with diabetes and her memory. A boy whose headaches keep him out of school. A mother who one morning discovers a lump. A girl whose condition defies diagnosis. You come to us because you need answers, but you also need more. You need understanding of what you're going through. You need comfort. You need to be treated as an individual, not a condition. You need to be included in your own care. You are the point of everything we do. That's why we're changing to Unity Point Health. It's a model of care that will help us work better together, where the physician who knows you best takes the lead, coordinating your care through every step, from the hospital to specialists to rehabilitation to health services in the home and in the community, to making sure the treatments are effective. By working as a team, we surround you with care, helping you manage your health and your conditions, guiding you to making better choices and living a healthier life. The point of Unity is you. Unity Point Health.
Get away from my Sumito credit card. We don't have any more money. We're in trouble now. Save us! Help! Somebody save us! Somebody help! Help! Save us!
Hi, I'm Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of Des Moines. If your credit card's a little too animated, give us a call.
Hooray! We're saved! Consumer Credit, you're our hero!
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Welcome back. RestoringHopeLive.com. If you're listening to this on the American Family Radio Network, we appreciate you taking the time to listen. This story, the Thompson family, will return in 30 days on Jennifer's 2-year sobriety birthday. And from what I've been told in the break, Lexi, we have not covered half.
Oh, gee, no.
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 The Norwegian part of her comes out.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
No. All right. Well, we may have this a 3-part show, but for sure we're going to come back here in about a month and get to the rest of the story. So it falls apart with Jason. Mm-hmm. And why does it fall apart?
You know, I wasn't ready to be married. I didn't want to be married.
I get this sense from you that you still care about him, that he's a good guy.
He is.
Okay.
Yes.
Did he deserve you?
He had his issues.
Okay.
You know, he was very controlling.
Okay.
Very, very controlling. But he took good care of us.
Okay. What made you leave?
Like I said, I didn't want to be married. I didn't want anyone telling me what to do.
Okay. Was it you didn't want anybody telling you what to do, or you wanted to run around?
I wanted to run around.
Okay.
I wasn't done.
Okay.
I was still, at this point, I was, 21, 22?
Okay. And so you bring your son? Son?
My middle son, yes.
Named?
His name is Colby.
Colby. So you bring Colby back. Mm-hmm. You've got Lexi with you.
Yes.
Move into your own place in Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling about that, Mom?
It was hard. I was glad she got away from the situation. She was really unhappy. She'd call me and tell me how unhappy she was.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it's because it's the horrible marriage. You know, I'm thinking, because he was really controlling. It wasn't just a little. It was a lot. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't treating Lexi very well. And it was very heartbreaking. And so at that time, I was relieved that she was back here because my codependence and my mother instinct says, keep them close. You know, I can keep my eye on her. And and I loved having Lexi back. That was, vital. So
Lexi, what was your view of what was going on between your mom and Jason and with Colby? What were you seeing?
See, the only thing I saw was Jason and the way that he was treating me. I wanted to go home. I wanted to go home to Grandma and Grandpa.
And how was he treating you?
He would lie to my mom about the way that he would treat me. He would yell at me constantly. He would always threaten me with the belt buckle. And he would I would eat the same dinner every night, fish sticks and macaroni and cheese. And I had to eat all of it. And if I didn't, then I didn't get dinner anymore. And I also had to my room got destroyed by these boys from across the street in Colby, and then I had to clean it up because it was my fault. And I just remember him being awful and terrible. I remember just kind of going out into the neighborhood by myself. I was very, like, reserved. I didn't like being around.
How old were you?
I was like 6. I didn't like being around people because I thought everyone was horrible.
You were really pretty grown up at that point, weren't you? She was. What did you see in your daughter at this? Did you believe Jason?
Yeah, I believed. I thought it was that she was manipulating me, and because when she get upset like that, she'd call my mom, and my mom would come and get her and take her back to Iowa, then bring her back. You know, it was the constant. I thought she was manipulating the situation, and I thought that she was. And once again, having those blinders on with the male aspect of it, like, okay, you need to stop. Just stop doing what you're doing. He's taking care of us. He's taking care of us. He's being a father figure to you, and I didn't want to believe it. And some of that stuff I still really don't. There's a lot of things that I really still don't know that my husband did to her. I don't.
You don't trust her now?
Oh, I trust her completely now.
Well, then why don't you believe her when she says he did those things?
No, I do believe her now.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I don't know some of the stuff that he has done.
I don't really talk about it.
She doesn't talk about it that
I've talked
much.
about it to my counselor
She talks
before,
about it to her therapist.
but I don't like to bring up the past that much.
I can understand why. It's not exactly a 3-ring circus.
No.
At least one that's fun.
Well, yeah.
No petting the tigers, right?
No camel rides.
Thompson family is our guest today. And so you're back in Des Moines. You've got both your kids. Grandma, you've got both your grandkids. You're 6.
Yeah.
Colby's 4, 2. And what's the plan, Mom?
I didn't even know.
You've escaped 2 bad relationships. You've got 2 children. You're 25.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, I was like 22. Yeah, 23.
Okay. Do you have any skills for jobs?
Yeah, I worked at Wells Fargo.
Okay, so you brought in some money.
Yeah.
All right, what'd you do with the money?
Drink.
Did you take care of your kids?
Yeah, I felt like I did.
You felt like you did.
I felt like I did.
Mom, did she?
Not really. Yeah,
No.
she was.
Okay.
She was
From the kid's
trying.
standpoint,
It was
no.
a struggle, but yeah, in reality, no. There was a lot of neglect.
You're no different than at 17. You're out partying, chasing boys, drinking, doing drugs. Who's taking care of the kids?
My mom.
Or whatever boyfriend at that time.
Or whatever boyfriend at that time.
Lots of boyfriends floating in and out.
Or I just I just stay home and drink.
With
And
the
bring-
boyfriends.
and bring
the
the
boys
boyfriends home.
over.
Well, I bet you do have stories, don't you?
Oh, jeez. Sure do.
Then you had a 3rd child.
Yes.
And how old is
Ashlyn.
Ashland?
She's 8.
She's 8, and Colby is
13.
Okay, so you waited another 5 years. What happened in those 5 years? Everything.
Everything. Drinking, drugging, and drinking. A lot of drinking.
Okay.
Because at that time, and then I had a boyfriend over, and I had a breakdown and called Jason and told him he needed to come get Colby, that I couldn't take care of him because they were getting sick constantly, and I was missing work, and then I had work on me, and I had a breakdown. I was in McDonald's parking lot, and I called him, and I said, come get this kid. I can't do it. And then the next day, I think it was the next couple days, Lexi was still with me, and then I had a guy over, and she had a nightmare. She came into my room, and I pushed her off, because there was a guy in my bed, and pushed her off and made her sleep on the floor instead of comforting her, all that stuff. All I was worried about was the guy that was in my bed. And she called my mom the next day, and then my mom and dad came over and took her.
That was hard.
For good.
Yeah, that was hard. I remember that.
It was a very hard. She was kicking
very
and
mad at
screaming.
us.
She was holding the doors because in her little mind, I know she still wanted to be with mommy, and she thought, but they put her in the van. She was holding on to the doors.
I expected Grandma and Grandpa to come over just to take me for a day. That's what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting for good, and then I realized, oh my gosh, this is going to be for good.
And that's the last time you've lived with your mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why at the beginning of the show we said the relationships were complicated because Grandma is really Mom.
Yeah.
And your mom is really kind of like a big sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for sharing this. We are only part of the way. You'll come back after your 2-year sobriety, Chip.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll continue to tell this story. Maybe we'll need a third time. I don't know.
And tomorrow is your
23 months.
Yes.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
congratulations. Why do we bring stories like this to you? We bring them because maybe you recognize yourself somewhere. Maybe you're the grandma. Maybe you're Lexi. Maybe you're the beautiful Jennifer who just tried and tried and tried to get her life together, but just wasn't on the right path. Just never could seem to get both feet on the right path. We bring these to you to help you feel better about your life. So you know, as bad as your story may be, it's still part of God's plan, believe it or not. Keep wishing on things that are earthly and keep praying for those things that God's will bring into your life, because the Thompsons have turned out great. And you'll hear more about them coming up on Restoring Hope Live on webcast1live.com.